Facebook is rebranding everything but faces the same old problems. Nearly 4 months ago, amid a firestorm of critical coverage stemming from a whistleblower's leaks, Facebook shifted its strategic focus to building an immersive version of the internet it calls the metaverse and changed its company name to Meta. This week, the company continued with its rebranding campaign. The news feed, for years the centerpiece of the Facebook user experience and also central to some of its controversies, was rebranded simply as Feed. Its employees, previously known as Facebookers, became Metamates. And its corporate values got a refresh, too. Gone are corporate maxims like "be bold." Instead, the company introduced guidelines such as focus on long-term impact and be direct and respect your colleagues. Mark Zuckerberg, the company's co-founder and CEO, said the changes were needed because we're now a metaverse company, building the future of social connection. We've already built products that are useful to billions of people, but in our next chapter we'll focus more on inspiring people as well, Zuckerberg wrote in an explanation of the new value: build awesome things. The changes this week once again hint at the company's eagerness to turn the page and refocus its employees, and arguably the general public, on a new era of its business, one less tarnished by years of controversy. Zuckerberg himself appears eager to turn away from some of the recent turmoil, announcing this week that Nick Clegg, formerly Meta's Vice President of Global Affairs and Communications, has been promoted to President of Global Affairs. Clegg's promotion will free up time for Zuckerberg to focus on the company's efforts to build new artificial and virtual reality products, Zuckerberg said. But despite Zuckerberg's and Meta's apparent effort to live in the future, as one of its new values dictates, the social media giant still has to wrestle with many of the same old problems that have plagued it for months or, in some cases, years. If anything, some of its challenges only seem to be getting worse. Meta, FB's core advertising business faces threats from other big tech giants. Facebook whistleblower Frances Haugen has filed 2 new complaints with the Securities and Exchange Commission over the company's handling of misinformation. And the company continues to grapple with regulatory scrutiny. At the end of the day, Mark can run, but he can't hide from the regulatory pressure, Katie Harbath, a Facebook alum who helped lead the company's global election efforts until her departure last year, said of his making Clegg effectively the company's most public face on policy issues. For a long time, it seemed like Zuckerberg and Facebook could at least find some comfort during the company's various PR crises in the resiliency of its stock. But that's no longer the case. Meta's shares have fallen more than 40% over the past 6 months, with much of the loss in value following a rough holiday quarter earnings report which showed, among other things, a rare lapse in user growth. Wall Street and the investment community have caught up with the fact that the core business at Facebook is no longer growing, it may even be in decline at some point, and therefore Facebook has had to make an enormous pivot into a tangential, and really unrelated, space, said Gil Luria, technology strategist at investment firm D. Asked for comment about this story, Meta directed CNN Business to Zuckerberg's post about the company's changing values.